Welcome everyone to TalkersOfGeeks.com Superhero Gaming. Justin here. Welcome to episode 8, and we are back in the DC universe with Superman Shadow of Apocalypse, which was released in 2002. And this game really tried to bring the Man of Steel to life in the video game form by capturing the essence of the animated series, which was Superman the animated series. And the game sought to blend some comic book storytelling, action, and Superman's unparalleled powers. Let's see if they were able to pull that off. So let's talk first about the story. So the story of Superman Shadow of Apocalypse faithfully follows the tone and narrative style of Superman the animated series. The game's plot revolves around a new threat to Metropolis, orchestrated by Lex Luthor, of course, who has teamed up with Darkseid, ruler of Apokolips. And while using the Apocalypse technology, Luthor was able to create an army of robotic warriors known as Interbots to wreak havoc on the city. Superman must thwart their plans while uncovering the sinister collaboration between his arch nemesis and his cosmic DC overlord. The game's narrative structures mirrors episodes of the animated series, complete with cutscenes that feature voice casts from the original show, such as Tim Daly as Superman, Dana Delaney as Lois Lane, and of course, Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor. This really adds to that authenticity and depth to making players feel like they were playing a larger Superman story. And hell, they were playing a episode of Superman the animated series. So highlights of the story include some really high stakes confrontations with familiar villains such as Metallo and Parasite, as well as epic battles with Darkseid's forces. So I don't want to get too into the plot as well, because just in case you want to experience it for yourself. So how does the gameplay, knowing the history of Superman games? The gameplay of Superman Shadow of Apocalypse attempts to recreate Superman's vast array of abilities while balancing challenges to keep players engaged. The game features a mix of combat, puzzle solving, and rescue missions, with each level designed to showcase a different facet of Superman's powers. The combat, you are able to use Superman's super strength, heat vision, freeze breath to battle waves of enemies. While the combat mechanics are straightforward, the variety of powers keeps encounters a little bit more dynamic. Boss battles such as those against Metallo and Parasite introduce unique mechanics that require strategic use of Superman's abilities. The flight mechanics, what will it be a Superman game without flight? And one of the most standout features in Superman's flight in this game is that players can freely fly across Metropolis and within mission areas, offering a sense of scale and freedom rarely seen in a superhero game at that particular time. However, flight controls can feel clunky, mainly due to its introverted use of flight of controls that you usually see in something like a Ace Combat, where down is up and up is down, and really you can't really kind of switch it or change it. So the controls can feel clunky, especially during precision maneuvers or when you have to go through tight spaces. But for what it was at the time, it was pretty damn fun to play. And of course, there's rescue missions. True to Superman's character, the game includes several missions where players must save civilians from disasters. These range from putting out fires to preventing collapsing buildings. While these missions enhance immersion, they do get repetitive and limited in scale due to obviously the hardware and the game's mechanics. Puzzles. The game incorporates light solving puzzle elements, often involving the environment or strategic use of Superman's powers. For example, players might need to use freeze breath to stabilize a crumbling structure or heat vision to disable security systems. While the gameplay was ambitious for the time, the overall experience is hampered by its mechanics and occasional bugs, such as enemies clipping through objects or inconsistency hit detection during combat. The combat is probably the worst of the actual game here. It's just like a simple X, and it's just very, very clunky, and just hit detection at times is very inconsistent, which will lead to a lot of frustration. But it is still decent enough to play compared to a game like, I don't know, Superman 64. So let's talk a little bit about the graphics here. So the graphics of Superman Shadow of Apocalypse uses cel shaded graphics to emulate the art style of Superman the animated series. This choice effectively captures the look and feel of the animated show, making the game visually distinct from other superhero titles of its time. However, the character models, while faithful to their animated counterparts and environments of Metropolis, are detailed enough to evoke the city's iconic atmosphere. The game, however, graphical fidelity is a mixed bag. While the cel shaded visuals are charming, textures can appear flat, and environmental details often lack polish, to say the least. But backgrounds feel static, and there are noticeable absence of dynamic elements such as destructible environments. Especially in the Superman game, you need destructible environments, which really distracts from the immersion. The game's frame rate is stable for the most part, but occasionally slows down occur during intense combat sequences or when multiple enemies are on screen, and the performance will dip. Though it's minor, it can disrupt the gameplay experience. But the performances is where and sound design is where the game truly shines. So let's take a look at some of these voice performances.
Superman, it looks like Intergang is back. We've got reports of several officers under fire at Mannheim Warehouse.
I thought we'd put an end to Intergang last time, Maggie.
So did I. We're mobilizing a squad now.
Okay, I can get there quicker. I'll see what's going on. It's a robot of some sort. At least I won't need to pull my punches.
One of the game's strongest elements is its sound design. The original voice cast, as I said earlier, reprise their roles that really bring a more authenticity and charm to the characters, and it elevates the narrative of the story. The music score, inspired by Shirley Walker's composition from the anime series, sets an appropriate, heroic, and dramatic tone. On the technical side of things, the game performances is serviceable but not flawless. Load times between levels are relatively long, and occasional glitches, such as enemies disappearing or mission objectives failing to trigger, can frustrate players. And the camera system, a common issue in the early 2000 games, is another weak point, often obstructing the player's view during critical moments. But you know what? Overall, Superman Shadow Apocalypse stands out as one of the better Superman games, especially when you compare it to the notorious Superman 64. Its commitment to capturing the spirit of Superman, the animated series, makes it a memorable experience for fans of the character, even if its gameplay and graphics do fall short compared to today's standards. The game's influence can be seen later in superhero titles that sought to integrate storytelling and gameplay with the essence of respecting the characters. And it is a nostalgia trip for fans of the Superman the animated series. Its story and sound design are its strongest aspects, faithfully bringing the animated series to life. While the gameplay and graphics show their age, I still recommend you check this one out. This is Justin from Atokolips.com. What did you think of Superman Shadow Apocalypse? Did you play it back in the days? What is your favorite Superman game? I know there's a very slim pickings, and no, I'm not counting Injustice. I'm talking about solo adventure Superman games. So we have like Superman 64, Superman Returns, this game, some 16 bits. Comment below, let me know. And thank you, folks, for watching on tacosandgeeks.com. Hopefully, you earn your subscription. So, and if we did, please don't forget to hit the notification bell. Later days, I'll catch you on the next one.